let's wrap up with this current event, Iran. What's going on there? Okay.
What's going
Your
on
thoughts.
there?
What will happen? What should happen?
Wow. I think that unfortunately the current thing in Iran is going to get a lot of protesters killed and not accomplish anything. I think that when a regime falls, protests don't bring about an end to a regime. When a regime falls, it's because it's lost confidence in itself and it no longer believes in itself. And I don't think the Ayatollahs are at that point yet.
You don't think they are?
I don't think
you
they
think
are.
they will be this year, 2026?
No,
Or you're thinking
I think
it's a longer 5-10
It's
prop?
a very random thing, but it still feels to me like clearly the fanaticism of 1979 is not there anymore. Like a lot of that energy is like the energy of Iran in the 80s is just demented, completely crazy. And by the way, if you don't know this is another thing where overthrowing the Shah was basically the dream of progressives everywhere for like.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Most Americans don't.
And
know this.
Carter could have been involved. He didn't help him out. He promised he would. He didn't.
Oh no, Carter orchestrated getting rid of him. I mean, and like this is just like this is progressive diplomacy in the 70s.
So how do you process interventionist versus non-interventionist?
So
is it 100% never don't intervene, or does it make sense at times? How do you process that?
I would say that, the rules of like statecraft and diplomacy have not changed at all in this world. Whatever we say they are is what they are. The problem is that basically, as Clint Eastwood put it, man's got to know his limitations. And, why we had Afghanistan, why we had Vietnam is that we did not know our limitations. We did not understand how essentially bad we are at basically doing nation building, doing colonialism. Like we sort of intentionally suck at it. These are very solvable problems, but like we are not in a condition to solve these problems. One of the interesting things about the Venezuela intervention, I'm basically an isolationist. I think that the U.S. should essentially abandon its empire. But I have an open mind. And one of the things that was impressive about the Venezuela intervention was that it was actually reminiscent of kind of a pre-missionary foreign policy. It was a very like practically done thing. So first of all, perfectly executed. That's impressive. That's seriously impressive. You got to take your hat off to that.
Sure.
But also, one of the interesting things was that, you would have expected the Trump administration to put in Machado, the Nobel Prize winner, instead of working with the Rodriguez siblings, who are like the core of the old Venezuelan intelligence service. Okay, this is not neoconservatism. This is not like classic good neighbor policy liberalism. This is really gunboat diplomacy. And it's sort of wild to see this kind of Teddy Roosevelt diplomacy being carried out and apparently working in the present world. Because as far as I can tell, what the Trump administration intends to do with the current regime in Venezuela is basically just like give it carrots and sticks such that, the people in charge of it can just get rich, and you're just like, yeah, like you are the head of the Venezuelan intelligence agency. You are a very dirty person. You've done very bad things. You are going to get rich and your country is going to get fixed. Totally alien to American 20th century foreign policy. Like, or they tried to buy Maduro out. What would be an amazing policy? Buy out Kim Jong-un. Basically be like, you know what? Your country is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. You're holding it in this like incredibly backwater prison state. The 20th century thing is like, no, we have to prosecute him like Hitler. Okay, we didn't prosecute Hitler, but we should have prosecuted Hitler, right? Nuremberg trials for Kim Jong-un, whatever, he's guilty of like, insane crimes. These North Korean gulags are every bit as bad as they say they are. Horrible, horrible monarchy. You buy him off and you free the country. And he lives for the rest of his life in the south of France like a frickin' prince. You know where Kim Jong-un was educated? Switzerland. He was educated in a private school in Switzerland. His iPhone is probably the same one as mine, right? But he is terrified because he doesn't want to be Gaddafi'd. right? And so you had this kind of, this interventionist foreign policy where like the Arab Spring is like this, where it's like, we're going to,
But would that be interventionist for North Korea? Would that be expansionist?
well, the words, you sort of, you shouldn't, it would be normal in a way that
And
the
the reason
20th
why I'm saying
century
that is
was
like I'm not getting involved saying let's get rid of them. Here's what that's interventionist. To me, it's like, listen, hey, we'll buy you for $88 billion.
Yeah,
Step
yeah.
away, we'll take care of it from here. All right, sounds good. So we're expanding America, like everything that we bought. We bought Florida, we bought
Yeah, I'm not
Texas,
even,
we bought Alaska.
I'm not even sure we'd, make North Korea a state or something, right? But the thing is, actually, maybe just give it to South Korea. Maybe say, hey, South Korea, we owe you all this money. Like, let's figure out how to work this out, right? I don't know. But like, that is a realist. That is to me, realist foreign policy and isolationism have always been equivalents because that's kind of the best you can do, right? Actually, the empire, whatever you want to call it, our allies, our international community, has been a real loss to this country. It has not been running at a profit. The idea of running a foreign policy at a profit, that's like imperialism. That's gunboat diplomacy. Like what we did in Venezuela was gunboat diplomacy, right? The idea.
You're not supportive of what we did in Venezuela.
I know. I think that actually is very ambitious and interesting, and I hope it works out well.
To me, to go in there with a Delta force,
Yeah.
preparing for it since August, you go in, you take him, you leave, wasn't expecting it. Everybody was shell-shocked. No, the way it was done, quick operation. I mean, that's just insane to be able to get it done that way. Venezuelans are happy. Venezuelans here are happy. They're excited about what could happen next. Now, obviously, controlling, leading. He joked the other day. He posted something saying the president of Venezuela. I don't know if you saw this or not.
Yeah.
He posted something with the president of Venezuela. But this last tweet, Rob, if you go to that one that this is an hour ago. Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions, save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I've canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing.
That's more of a neocon move, right? It's a neocon move because basically, and it's more reminiscent of kind of the American. It's more reminiscent of like the Arab Spring. This is a sort of an Arab.
What should he do? You're saying don't do anything? Sit on the sidelines?
It's a difficult problem. I would say that I think encouraging Iranians to do that is bad because I think that they are going to lose and a lot of people are going to get killed. And a lot of people already have been killed.
Do you think while he's saying this, you don't think he already has his next 10 steps figured out? You don't think he already has people in there?
I don't know.
What I'm saying is if you go this bold of an ask, you don't make an ask like this without already knowing it's about to be done, don't you think? That's a big risk for a president to ask the people to do that.
Trump is a mercurial man. He's a mysterious man. The administration is actually pretty good at keeping secrets. I certainly don't know what is being planned there. Again, if you'd asked me before the Venezuela operation, I would have said, don't do this, right? After it was done, I was like, you know what? When the facts change, I changed my mind. So, if I think it would be certainly wonderful if the Trump administration and the people of Iran could pull this out in some way that worked. It's a very dangerous thing to do. I think the probability of failure is greater than the probability of success.
Just so you know, I agree with you that the probability of failure is higher. But sometimes you got to take a gamble, and is this a gamble they're going to take? We're going to see.
Well, we're going to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think the people who are surrounded around Iran, who are
and you have an Iranian Jewish background, right?
Not Jewish, Iranian Christian background.
Right.
My mother and my father they're Christian, but
the David is
Bet David. Yeah, most people think that. But Bet David in Assyrians means Beta, house of David, and a mother's Bogosian, Armenian. But I've been around Christians, Muslims, Jews my entire life. I mean, the
do you
story.
Speak Farsi?
I speak fluent Farsi. I speak fluent Armenian, fluent Assyrian.
What do you think is going to happen in Iran?
I think this is the closest it's ever gone. I think if Biden doesn't become president in 2021, Iran would have fell in 21-22. So I think those sanctions were really destroying Iran. And he just put on the sanctions. I don't know if you saw that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He said yesterday, Rob, if you have this, anybody that does business with Iran, I'm putting a 25% sanction on you. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that.
That was literally yesterday. So this has been the playbook for a minute. And I think is that the one? Yeah, right there. Effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay 25% tariff on any and all business being done in the U.S. The order is final and conclusive. Thank you for your attention. Right? You should like this.
I love thank you for your attention. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's so good. It's so good.
He wants to make sure you're paying attention. No, but to me, it's the closest it's been done. And if you look at what happened with Venezuela just a few weeks ago, to be able to pull that off and pull this off within a few weeks, I don't know what award you give to this guy.
Yeah,
to haven't done that in 12 months? How the hell do you do this in less than 12 months?
Call me again when he gets it done.
Oh, I mean, for sure. We'll have that follow-up.
I mean, there's no question that the Venezuelan regime, I think, is worse than the Iranian regime.
You think so?
I think so.
Why do you say that?
Just, Iran is not full of chaos and crime. And the thing is, actually...
You must not follow it closely.
Not like
the way they're hanging people and the way they're doing.
Yes, but it's still a government. Now they're going nuts, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that there's an old Arab saying, which is the tyranny of the lion is better than the justice of the mouse. And in Venezuela, basically, it's just like everyone steals independently. Everyone is a criminal. There's like whole criminal structures all the way up and down. And in Iran, at least you have a government, right? And those who believe that anarchy is better than government, they don't know their anarchy. Like in Venezuela, doesn't just have a shitty government with a shitty intelligence service controlled torture chamber or whatever. Yeah, it has that. But it also has just like massive chaos and dysfunction of a sort that is not seen in Iran. And so, yeah, it's still like
Iran to me is a whole different story. Like the levels of crime, torture, what Iran is doing, the proxy wars and the amount of different military Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, everything they're funding, they are chaotic.
They are creators of chaos. But
right.
The thing is, I would rather walk down the street in Tehran than Caracas. Hi there, I'm Curtis Yarvin, aka Mencius Moldbug, and I've created a profile on this fascinating site, Manect, which allows anyone to put in a few dimes and ask me about anything, and I'll take questions on anything that isn't personal. I have many opinions on history, politics, science, economics, and all kinds of interesting things. And if you have a good and interesting question, why not ask it? I might well answer it. Thank you very much.